The idle issue diag continues on the E30 project here. I got my last video up no more than an hour ago, and I am replying to comments while jumping back in onto this E30. Funny enough, a couple of you guys are referring to the distributor, saying cap and rotor and vacuum advance is not going to cut it. A new distributor may be needed in order to rectify those idle issues. And I fired this thing up, drove it to the gym this morning, and I heard a bit of a humming noise at idle. So I'm gonna fire it up, see if I can recreate it for you guys and show you, but it is coming directly from the distributor cap, underneath the distributor cap. I'm gonna try that one more time, but having the mic touching the distributor, the electrical impulse coming out of the distributor actually went into the mic, interrupted it, and caused the mic to cut out. I could see the lights flashing on it. So the audio through the screwdriver came out pretty clean, so I'm happy with that. I'm excited to show you guys. It also clicked while I was doing that, and it wasn't coming from the distributor, and as soon as I heard that click again, the RPMs dropped a little bit and started moving a little funky. So sounds like we potentially have a two-prong issue unless that distributor is causing an electrical issue somewhere else in the engine. And before I pull the distributor cap off, here is the catalytic converter in question. It does look a bit newer. You can tell right there that that junction on the flange has been welded at one point. As far as this cat being original, I have no idea. I'm not familiar with cats that are back here at the transmission on these older vehicles. It's probably replaced though, just based off the weld on that pipe. I might be able to get away with a non-BMW catalytic converter, maybe something universal. I don't know, never been down this road before. Well, I don't see anything obviously wrong in the distributor cap. Looks like the rotor almost has a little bit of wear there on the backside. Wonder if I still have the original rotor. Where is that damn click coming from? Well, the distributor's not making that noise anymore. Well, I'm gonna spend a little while with the stethoscope and just try to keep stopping, starting the car and find out where it's coming from. What other choice do I have? I think I got it, guys. I think it's this little control module right here. I could feel it click with my finger on it. Well, I could totally hear it click. And it sounds pretty close to the clicking that I've been hearing. It wasn't like that triple click, but I had cycled the ignition and turn it over to ignition on, and I could feel it click. Let's look into this little Bosch control unit. So this piece right here is the ignition control module. It's a Bosch control module. So as I turned the key on, I could feel it click through my stethoscope and through my hand. And so if that thing is faulting, then it's going to cause all kinds of ignition issues and misfires, rough idles, would cause the idle to surge. Why it would click, idles would increase, click, idles would go down. So this may be our culprit. Okay, that's pretty much a confirmation right there. So this thing is clicking pretty much as soon as the car fires off. However, one of those key cycles, it did like a double click, maybe a second after the car really started to fire. And so it's not doing it while the engine's like running steady, but it's clicking pretty close right off the bat. And as soon as this thing clicks, the idle drops down and gets a little funky. So I really think that this is our issue. Well, I think I got enough evidence right there to get the part ordered up. I called my local CarQuest store. I've been working with them quite a bit. They got one ordered up from their local warehouse, about 90 bucks. It's CarQuest brand, but it's brand new. So I'm gonna do some more testing, keep trying to listen to it now that it's cooled down a little bit, get the confirmation, and hopefully we'll be throwing in a new ignition control module tomorrow and getting this thing figured out. All right, back from lunch, and while I was eating, I realized I forgot this ground wire right here. So I came back out and threw that back on. While I wait for my part to come in, let's attempt to fix this washer reservoir. I'm gonna sand it down with some 400 grit. just to kind of smooth things out, and I'm gonna try to seal this in with some epoxy, some JB Weld. I'm gonna wipe it down with a little touch of isopropyl alcohol as well, just so there's no oils or anything that'll interfere with the epoxy. Take my epoxy, if it hasn't hardened up on me yet. Did it harden up? Nope, we still got it. Now this stuff sets up fast. Shouldn't need too much, but I'm just gonna put a big old puddle right on top of there. That's all, just a big old glob. I think that'll do. So we got the epoxy drying on the washer tank, and we got the ignition control module on the way for the morning. All right, all you dudes and dudettes, it is the next day. I got the ignition control module here from CarQuest. Now it does look a little bit different. Let me get this thing pulled out. It looks a little bit different. The mounting locations are the same, but I'm hoping that it's going to work. So what I'd like to do is let's fire the car up. I'll show you guys how it's running right now, and then we're gonna unplug that ignition control module, plug this in, see what happens. If this cleans up the idle, I'm going to be over the moon. The distributor's making some noise again, so we'll have to address that too. So yeah, the mounting is gonna be different. It doesn't really match. It's the wrong one. This one has one more pin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I even dare plug it in? You guys think I'm about to break the car? I don't even think it's gonna fire. No good. I think we still need a new one. It's just not the right one. I've seen some replacements online for pretty cheap as well. So now we know. Let's try it again. The distributor's making noise again too. Now I gotta give a quick shout out to all of you guys in the comments. You have been so extremely helpful, and I am just so incredibly grateful for this community and all of you guys reaching out, from adding parts cleaner into the gas or running alcohol, hot soaking the injectors, replacing the distributor, taking a look at the ignition coil, you know, all kinds of ideas, adjusting the valves. You guys have been so extremely helpful, and so I just want to give you guys a big thank you. Next step is getting the correct ignition module in there. That clicking cannot be normal, and it clicks, the RPMs drop, and it starts to surge. So I'm pretty positive that that ignition module is malfunctioning. So that's where I'm going to start. Finally, after over a week of delays, I finally got my new ignition control module in. Let's get this thing in this E30. She's been sitting for about a week, so let's give it a cold start. I'll show you how she sounds. Then we'll put this new control module in. All right, let's throw this thing in. Now, I'm not expecting it to magically fix how this car runs, but I do expect it to fix that surgy idle. After I put this in and I get some free time, I'm probably going to pull the coin out of the idle control valve that's drilled out, and we will retime the car. Now, I can say without a doubt that this was the source of my clicking noise. Let's tuck it in. Let's fire this bad boy up. See what happens. You ready? Well, it's idling better already. It's definitely idling substantially better. That control module was definitely the move. That was definitely an issue. Idle is so much better. It's running smoother. I just need to make some room in my garage. I'll get this thing back in there and retime it. As you can see, I got a little bit bigger of an E46 project going on I haven't shared with you guys yet. I'm doing a larger video on that one, so it's probably going to take me about 2 weeks to get all the work done and to get the video edited down and all that jazz. So this thing is idling way better. Is it ready for smog? Absolutely not. I still need to go in, play around with the idle control valve a little bit. I need to pull the coin out of the idle control valve elbow and get that restriction out of there to get the idle back up to normal. And then I need to retime this thing because the idle was not as steady as it is right now with this new ignition control module, so that's going to change things. Also, I had an offer from a viewer on this E30 and I'm tempted to sell it, but the number isn't there. If one of you guys want to make me an offer on this E30, I'm willing to sell it pretty soon here, whether it's a non-op title or whether I get it smogged and registered here in California. If someone from another state wants to buy it and trailer it home, I'll register it as a non-op and I'll sell it pretty quick. The number that they offered me wasn't there, but there's other projects that I really want to get into and a specific direction I want to take my channel, but I need money to do that, and this car is gonna be able to generate that money for me. So I am in the market to sell it. If any of you guys want to buy it, the 1984 BMW E30 with 65,000 miles, let me know. As far as parts that I have not installed on it, I still have the front crank seal, I have all 3 belts, I have engine mounts and sway bar links, and I think that's it for parts that I have not installed. Well, I'm feeling pretty hopeful with this new ignition control module. This thing is running worlds better, so we need to get it in the garage and time it ASAP. Whoa, can you hear this? This thing's a whole nother animal now. I should honestly take it for a drive because it is running so much better with this new module, guys. I'm really blown away. The distributor's making noise again, so we need to address that. The distributor's starting to make noise again too, so we need to address that. You know, this car is super badass. It's classic, it's one of a kind, it's low mileage, it's iconic. But it's just more of a project than I want to take on right now. These E46s, E90s, E60s, I can turn and burn them faster. And there's a specific direction and something I really want to do with my channel that I can't share with you guys yet. But it involves me freeing up some capital and being able to go through a car maybe once a month, once every 2 months. And a car like this, I just can't see myself doing that with rust repair, having parts no longer available, being outside my scope a little bit. It's not too far outside my scope, but it definitely takes a lot more time, a lot more research, a lot more head scratching. That's why I want to bring up, you know, putting this thing on the market and selling it, because I got some big dreams and some big ideas. And trust me, once you guys see what I'm doing, once you know what my game plan is, you'll understand and you'll be pumped too. I'm gonna pull the nickel out of there, see how it runs. There goes my nickel. Okay, so this is no nickel, no restriction, idle control valve all the way to the right. Same thing, I just heard it click again. The idle changed. All right, guys, who wants it? E30 for sale. I was about to time it. Now it's doing the same thing again. Ignition control module's making a click. Idle's bouncing around a little bit. Just did it. So I'm gonna head inside, get some editing done for the day. Hopefully get this video out to you guys soon. Now, if I wasn't in California and if I didn't have to go through so many hoops to get this thing smogged and legally on the road, I'd hold on to it. But being that it's a California car and I have to deal with smog in this thing, which is a 1984, which is just absolutely ridiculous, it would take me to 2024 to get this thing running tip-top. So let me know. Shoot me an email at dayoffdiy@gmail.com. Send me an offer. Come down with a trailer. Come grab this thing. So getting this video edited up, I've been doing a lot of thinking on this E30 and this issue. Scratching my head trying to figure out how to make this all work. And I don't think it's worth going in and retiming the car unless we get a new distributor in it. After listening to the noise and hearing the ignition control module click during the editing process, it's possible that the distributor is faulty and the faulty distributor is causing the ignition control module to act up. So I think the distributor needs to be replaced. I still want to sell the car. I've looked on eBay, distributors cost about 250 bucks. And to be honest with you, I really don't want to put more money into this car. It's going to keep me from achieving my goal like I've described previously. I don't need to beat the dead horse. So what I think it needs is a new distributor, and then it needs to be retimed. However, the car is still for sale, so I just want to leave this up to you guys. I'm going to get this video posted. I'm going to let it marinate for a couple days. If any of you guys want to get back to me with an offer, try to work out a deal, we'll go that route. If nobody comes up with a good offer, or if I don't hear any interest on it, I'll probably end up getting some cash together, buying the distributor, and continuing the diagnosis. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's kind of a funky episode. You know, we didn't really get to resolve it. We definitely made it run a lot better with that new control module, so I think we're in the right direction. But I think this car would be enjoyed by somebody else, I think, a lot more. And I got my eyes elsewhere right now. Like I said in my community post, I'm actually going to be at SEMA in Las Vegas at the end of this month from October 30th to November 2nd or November 3rd. So if you're going to be at SEMA, be sure to get in touch with me and let's link up. We'll do a little meet and greet type deal. Maybe go grab a beer. I don't know. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed, or I hope you learned something new. Shoot me an email if you want to buy this thing, and I will see you on my next day off. Cheers, everybody.